This is the Evening News for Saturday, February 8, 2014. I'm Michael Young. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight, AG denies anti-money laundering bill gives excessive powers to executive. Sodomized teen calls for justice. APNU wants inquiry into torture allegations. Rohi says government plugged $5 billion into the security sector over the last decade. Robberies up by 44%. And the Interreligious Organizations Board takes blame for the non-establishment of the TV station. Now for the news in detail. The teenager who accused police ranks at the Stabroek outpost of sodomy claims that after 2 identification parades, he was unable to positively identify the perpetrators because the wrong set of policemen were put in the lineup. Bisham Mohammed reports.
The teenager of Deerfield Sophia told the Evening News he believed that the police are covering up for each other, claiming that he will not make up a story to cause public humiliation to himself and family.
Well, like I said, the police is trying to cover for the rest because when they do the ID parade, I had 2 sets of ID parade. One ID parade was 8 and a half person. One ID parade was 14 person. When they had the number inside the hand, the officer, CID girl, asked me if I can recognize any one of them. I told her no, it's none of them. So I suggest I make a statement to myself, and I said that, you know what, that these people want to cover this thing. They bring police from Tamari, police from all over.
The young man stated that he's constantly being harassed by members of the force whenever he's conducting business at Church and Carmichael Streets, with the recent one being last night, and suspected that they are friends of the ranks who sodomized him.
Last night pull up and tell me if I reach at Bergdam station this morning, I can take what I got on the road, but he can send people with gun upon me. And it's every night these officer is all the police friends. What they did, he might vex with what I did, and I make a report, he might vex with me for them. Because I never done all them as one. So they don't go against the police.
However, for the first time, the young man told his story on camera and is calling for the ranks to be charged.
Sunday night I was walking with Semico, and these people called me and asked me why I'm going. So I said that you don't know working on the road late is a charge. So I said, I called them up. They said they didn't charge me for them. I said, you can't charge me, and he handcuffed me, and then he turned me forward to the back. He turned off the light, handcuffed my foot, and he duct taped my mouth. After he duct taped my mouth now, he put on my pants and shake my head. After the duct tape my mouth, I couldn't talk. Now he pull on my pants and he started romantic me and tell me love me, and then after once of the things he started telling me. And after now, when he finished with me, then 2 other one come. And they do as well what he did.
The 3 police officers who were on duty during the period of the alleged rape have all been placed under close arrest. The teenager accused the 3 ranks at the outpost of sodomizing him after they had arrested him and accused him of prostitution. After he felt that the justice system has failed him, the youth mounted a protest on the roof of a building on Robb Street as he threatened to jump off. The file is with the Director of Public Prosecution, who is expected to make her recommendations shortly. Bisham Mohammed at the Evening News.
Thanks, Bisham. A Partnership for National Unity today called for a judicial inquiry into cases of torture from as far back as 2007. More details in this report.
At the Partnership for National Unity's weekly press conference, Brigadier David Granger said he is appalled by the acts of torture that have gone unsolved in the opinion of the coalition.
APNU recalls that the government of Guyana signed and ratified the Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhuman or Degrading Treatment and Punishment since 1988, 26 years ago. The term torture under Article 1 of the Convention means any act by which severe pain or suffering, whether physical or mental, is intentionally inflicted on a person for such purposes as obtaining from him or a third person information or a confession, punishing him for an act he or a third person has committed or is suspected of having committed, or intimidating or coercing him or a third person, or for any reason based on discrimination of any kind, when such pain or suffering is inflicted by or at the instigation of or with the consent or acquiescence of a public official.
Brigadier David Granger made reference to several cases of alleged torture, including Taiwan Thomas, David Leander, and more recently, Colwyn Hardin.
Then there was the case of the unfortunate David Leander, also called David Zamet and Biscuit. He was arrested in November 2007. He was so badly injured that he was unable to walk and could hardly speak and had to be hoisted into the magistrate's court to answer charges of attempted murder and possession of narcotics. As you know, he died under strange circumstances.
Granger also noted that the government is mandated to take the necessary measures to prevent the occurrence of torture.
No exceptional circumstances whatsoever, whether a state of war or a threat of war, internal political instability, or any other public emergency may be invoked as a justification of torture, and an order from a superior officer or a public authority may not be invoked as a justification of torture. The Convention instructs further, and I quote, "States are to ensure that all acts of torture are offenses under its criminal law, including complicity or participation in torture."
Granger further pointed out that there is adequate evidence that the crime of torture has been committed in several instances, and those committing the acts can be prosecuted anywhere in the world. In January, Colwyn Hardin alleged that he was battered raped by ranks stationed at the Tamiri police station.
The government of Guyana is resolute in the pursuit to modernize the security agencies in Guyana. This has seen the injection of more than $5 billion in the security sector, as we hear in this report.
Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohi said that the People's Progressive Party Civic Administration is unwavering in its attempt to modernize the security sector in Guyana, spending billions of dollars in the last decade.
The government is focused on ensuring that the security sector is modernized. And, for example, the anti-money laundering law that is now being kicked around in Parliament by the opposition element, all of that is part of the creating a modern architecture in the security sector. So that when these people come and they make these criticisms that the government has failed in terms of the security sector, we have to make comparative analysis.
Yes.
This is a scientific way to judge who is doing better than whom. So if we make this comparative analysis between what went on before we were there, because one has to measure what we're doing against what was there before. So if one is to make that scientific analysis with respect, first of all, to money spent, clearly it's like chocolate cheese. If one was to make the comparative analysis with respect to the sectors, how they have improved institutionally, in terms of human resources and so forth, the force has moved tremendously forward.
The minister added that although the government is criticized by the opposition, it remains a focus on achieving its overarching goals of causing a massive reduction in crime.
They would like us to blot that out, but you know, I don't think anyone wants to blot out 28 years of a country's history. But the point I want to make is that if you to go back in the records, particularly the Hansards of Parliament, and you check the debate that took place in the House when the PNC was in the majority, meaning when they were in the government.
Yes.
And you will see the intensive debates and criticism that took place there because they themselves were not able to address the crime and security situation in Guyana when they were in the government. Now, that doesn't mean to say that because they didn't do it, we must fail as well.
He said that his ministry will continue to support the law enforcement agencies in their fight against all forms of organized crime in Guyana. Bisham Mohammed, The Evening News.
You're tuned to The Evening News' Saturday edition. Join us on the other side of the break for more news.
that flavor feeling, the strings for you, it's so appealing. Tropical rhythms, it's the real deal. With vitamin C and it's from the Caribbean. New shape, same great taste. Tropical rhythms are done to Just one sip will make you feel great, great. Let's celebrate for the fun of life. Buckle and pop the cap, pop, 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 pop. Great tropical rhythms always in style. For the fun of life. Buckle and pop the cap, pop, 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 pop. Great tropical rhythms for the fun of life.
GT&T has just made it easier for you to stay in touch with family and friends in the USA and Canada with new low rates for landlines and cell phones. Call for just $20 per minute peak time and $12 per minute off peak. That's overseas calls reduced by 80%. So now you can stay in touch with family and friends in the USA and Canada as you promised you would. GT&T, still the best value in Guyana.
Caribbeer present Soca Monarch Final at the National Park on Saturday, 15 February 2014. Who will be the monarch? Who's your favorite? Come find out on February 15th. Special guest performance by Kez the Band. Showtime 8 p.m. Soca Monarch Final. Prepare to be thrilled. Keep it real. Real beer is Carib.
Introducing SurePay, the convenient way to pay your bills. SurePay is an electronic bill payment service that takes the hassle out of bill payments. Your payments are up to date the same day at the utility companies, so you will not be disconnected if you pay on the due date.
Wow, this is so fast. I can get to do my grocery shopping and get back to work on time. Excellent service. Thank you.
Contact our support center on telephone number 225-9129 for more information. SurePay, the convenient way to pay your bills.
Welcome back. This is the Evening News. An overall increase of 7% in serious crimes has been recorded at the end of January 2014 in comparison to January 2013. The total number of reports of serious crimes made during January 2014 was 341 compared to 318 in January 2013. A statement from the police headquarters, Ivlery, said a total of 17 murders were recorded at the end of January 2014 in comparison to 10 murders for the same period in 2013. Of the 17 during January 2014, 4 were of the disorderly type, 3 were committed during armed robberies, and 3 were domestic related, while the other 7 are so far undetermined. At the end of January 2014, robbery under arms overall rose by 44%, with 105 reports compared to 73 for the same period in 2013. The statistics show an increase of 50% in the number of armed robberies involving the use of firearms and a 30% increase in the armed robberies where instruments other than firearms were used by the perpetrators. The Local Government and Regional Development Ministry on Friday announced that the Solid Waste Management Bill is expected to be retabled at the next sitting of the National Assembly. According to Acting Local Government Minister Norman Whitaker, the draft Solid Waste Management Bill was taken to Cabinet on Tuesday last, where it was discussed and reviewed. He noted that comments made by Cabinet ministers were taken into consideration by the Attorney General's office. The Acting Local Government Minister disclosed that Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh has also asked to have a second look at the financial section of the bill. According to Whitaker, this bill seeks to bring some order to the way solid waste is managed, primarily through the establishment of a solid waste management authority. Do join us after these messages for more news.
With MoneyGram, you can transfer cash to over 196 countries across the globe within minutes.
And with low fees.
MoneyGram, bringing you closer.
For more information, please call NM Services Limited on telephone number 225-9129.
Mrs. B is happy. She's happy because she knows every bottle of Smolta is filled with B vitamins, ideal for growth, concentration, and vitality. Give them their B's. Smolta, because you love them. Mrs. B is happy. She's happy because she knows every bottle of Smolta is filled with B vitamins, ideal for growth, concentration, and vitality. Give them their B's. Smolta, because you love them.
From early civilization, clay has been trusted for building. Today, Abel clay blocks deliver superior benefits to your project. They're lighter than same-size concrete blocks, offer better insulation so your home stays cooler. Plus, they offer better fire and chemical resistance. Abel clay blocks are better than concrete blocks for building in wet conditions. And in compressive strength tests, Abel clay blocks handle greater loads than concrete blocks. So for your next building project, choose Abel Clay Blocks. Abel Clay, the better choice for Guyana.
It's gonna be a great day. Got my ginseng up, hey. Let's focus, people. Come on and get it sorted. Get more out of your day. Get things done efficiently. Let's go with it. Come on and just drink it, people. Drink it up now, drink it up now. Ginseng up now, ginseng up now. Oh, enjoy the new look and same great taste today. Ginseng up, the root of all power.
Welcome back. This is the Evening News. Barbadian and community worker Alex Foster has received his 7th international award when he copped the 2013 Commonwealth Youth Worker Award for the Caribbean region, joining other winners from Africa, Asia, the Pacific region, and the United Kingdom. Foster recently received the award in London. It was his 3rd Commonwealth Youth Service Award, having previously won the award in 1993 and 1995. In addition to those awards, Foster also received an award from the Commonwealth for Youth Service in 1991 and in 1999. He was selected from thousands of applicants the world over as the 60th most influential young social entrepreneur in the world. In 2006, Foster headed the St. Francis Community Developers, which was named the most successful, sustainable, and influential group in the Commonwealth. However, before these international awards, Foster was also recognized both in Guyana and the Caribbean. In 1989, he was the Caribbean and Commonwealth Youth of the Year. The year before, the community worker received his first and only national award in Guyana, the Youth of the Year Award. Agriculture Minister Dr. Leslie Ramsamy says that the weather is not a precise science, and despite his ministry had predicted a heavy rainstorm on Thursday, this did not happen because the storm shifted, giving Guyana just a piece of the experience. More details in this report.
Minister Leslie Ramsamy said that Guyana did not experience the full brunt of the rainstorm, but this will not stop his ministry from alerting the citizenry of the possible effects the weather could have on the country.
In the past, our forecasters were hesitant to tell people what they're watching because they didn't want, in case the thing takes a shift and they're proven wrong. So I didn't want to say it. My position is worst case scenario. Let us go with what you're seeing from the time you see it and tell people and keep updating them how it's changing.
He explained that the Hydromet team continues to work to inform the general public of possible rainy weather, but not all of the time this could be accurate.
There's a lot of rain in those countries, so by the time it reached us, it didn't have as much moisture. That's one. And two, it deviated northwards. And so we got hit by the flank of it. Gave us some rain, but not as much rain as ordered. We will keep with that system, and we will keep telling people, as best as we could. It's better we do that than we are shy because we don't know exactly when and if it will hit us. And then it hit us and people say we didn't give them notice.
Dr. Ramsamy said that the Hydromet team has now adapted that policy, where it will alert everyone about the possible storms and what damage it can cause in general.
People could lift their furniture and put it on top of a table. Now maybe the rain didn't come as much and cause the flood, but lifting your furniture and put it away to protect it doesn't cost you much. It's better. So what we are doing is a system of prevention better than cure.
The Agriculture Ministry, through its Hydromet department, had predicted that extreme rainfall would have hit Guyana with the possibility of massive flash floods. Regions 3 to 5 and Northern Region 6 are among regions that were predicted to have been affected by the rainstorm. However, Guyana was slightly affected with a few slight showers over the coastal region. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandan.
Caribbean Export Development Agency has made available a €2 million grant for businesses in Guyana that are looking to expand and raise their production standards so as to make them compliant with international standards. Details in this story.
Acting Minister of Tourism Irfan Ali today told media operatives at a press conference that a grant funded by the 10th European Development Fund is available for local businesses to access and expand their organization and raise their quality and standards. Minister Ali said that the funds will be made accessible to those persons and companies that are already operating businesses.
Especially in the areas that we are seeking to promote and advance development. For example, in the area of tourism, agro-processing, agriculture, bottling, packaging, business support services, health and wellness. These are all the different sectors. Professional services, these are all the different sectors that would have benefited from grant financing, grant matching financing, under the Caribbean Export Development Agency Complete Caribbean Program. As was mentioned before, the region has benefited tremendously from investment in this grant. The total funding is in excess of €2 million. For a matter of fact, the available funding for the different projects has an upper and lower limit, a minimum and maximum limit. But the overall funding is in excess of €2 million.
He added that a number of other Caribbean countries have already benefited immensely from the grant, including Barbados and Jamaica last year, while Guyana only had 6 beneficiaries.
Previously, a number of different businesses would have benefited from grant financing here in Guyana, covering citrus companies in the agricultural sector, forest product, the Guyana Aquaculture Society, Business Support Services, the Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association, the Brass, Aluminium and Cast Iron Foundry Limited, and TCL Guyana Incorporated. These are all companies that would have benefited from grant financing. There is immense scope for companies operating within the tourism sector, for example, ecotourism, which is a product that is specific in nature and one that we are seeking to build.
Chairman of the Private Sector Commission, Ronald Webster, has said that the project is one that is endorsed by the private sector and will definitely benefit investors.
This is really a fantastic opportunity for private enterprise in Guyana and other agencies to take the opportunity of expanding their operations It's grant funds where you have to match, I believe, dollar for dollar, but it supports good business plans. You need to put together a good operational business plan to present to Compete Caribbean.
Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism, Danishwara Dionawine, said that all the information with regards to eligibility and criteria for the project are available online at the Ministry's website, which is www.caribexport.com, or at the Ministry of Tourism office.
The tarmac of the National Culture Center was on Thursday evening transformed into a magical atmosphere with glitters as Digicel Guyana Incorporated unveiled its 2014 Mashramani costumes under the theme Arabian Night. Bisham Mohammed was there and he filed this report.
Those were models of LaFace Model Management as they displayed designs by well-known Guyanese designer Olympia Small Sunaram, who created just the right costume to depict the work of Digicel and more so to captivate and stimulate the minds and eyes of the public. At the launch yesterday afternoon, Public Relations Officer Vidya Sanchara gave an insight into the costumes.
This afternoon we are launching our costumes, our MASH costumes for 2014, and for the 7 years that Digicel has been mashing, you know that we've never disappointed and it's always exceeded expectations. This afternoon what you would have seen on the stage is our MASH costumes for 2014. So we took it a little bit to the fantasy side where we are going to be highlighting the mystical or mythical part of fantasy, and our theme is Arabian Nights. So we're looking at all the magical elements, the genie granted wishes, the magic carpet rides, the riches of Arabia, because you know gold, diamonds, and treasures and things like that. So that's what our costumes will be representing.
She also explained how persons can be a part of Digicel's contingent on MASH Day and give an update on the float.
All they need to do is text the word costume with their Digicel numbers to 1557. Costumes to 1557, and they will be able to get instructions, follow the instructions, and then they will be eligible for a costume. Well, the float is almost nearing completion too, but we have to take into consideration storage. So we're waiting, coming down to the final days to put the finishing touches. We don't want to give it away. Whilst we tell you the team, we also want to hold a little back for that day.
Olympia Small Sunaram, after the launch, explained that she was happy to be designing for Digicel once again and says her eyes are also set on winning the Design of the Year award.
I always come up with all the concepts. I do my designs, I take it to the company and they have their opinion and they always like my ideas. But I'm hoping to get it again. Yes, that's my aim, you know? Yes, so I'm working towards it.
Bisham Mohammed, The Evening News.
Do join us after these messages. Your sport news is next.
We believe that everything worth building should be built just once. And that is why we build on culture, on trust, on integrity. We exist to do more, better, faster, safer. Your success depends on the foundation it's built on. Everything we do is meant to move you forward. Mark on. Let's build Guyana together.
Welcome back to the evening news. It's now time for a look at what's happening in the world of sport. But first, your headlines. ICC reforms approved. Golf season tees off tomorrow. R&R International Limited sponsored 40-mile cycle road race pedals off tomorrow. Now for the news in detail. The International Cricket Council Board has approved a series of reforms, handing more power to India, England and Australia. 8 of the organization's 10 members voted in favor of the wide-ranging proposals, which include permanent seats for the big 3 countries on a 5-man executive committee. Pakistan and Sri Lanka, both publicly opposed to the changes in the run-up to the vote, abstained. Current Board of Control for Cricket in India, the president there, will chair the ICC Executive Council from later this year. 10 teams will be battling for supremacy tomorrow when the bank's DIH Limited Citizens Bank Players Cup GT Beer Championship tees off at the East Coast Demerara Fairway. Each team will comprise 4 players and the winning team will be determined by the lowest total net score. The confirmed teams to do battle are Pasture Warriors, Thoroughbred, GT Beer, Team Carib, Warlords, Pitbulls, Putin Pirates, Jaguars Conquerors, and the Beacons Blasters. Apart from the team prize, the individual player with the best net score will win the prestigious Players' Cup, sponsored by Citizens Bank. The present holder of the Players' Cup is Patrick Pashad, who also won the title in 2012. There will be a best gross prize up for grabs. The players will compete in 3 flights, 0 to 9, 10 to 18, 19 to 28 handicaps. There will be attractive prizes for the top 3 teams in the tournament. Tee-off time is 9 hours. The country's top pedal pushers will be in action tomorrow in the R&R International Limited sponsored 40-mile cycle road race. Rajiv Bisnot reports.
The race will be staged on the West Coast Demerara roadways beginning at 8 hours from the entrance of the Demerara Harbour Bridge. Cyclists will journey to Bushy Park, East Bank, Essequibo before returning to the place of origin for the finish. The veterans, uprights and females will turn back from the IFLAT Community Centre, while the open category and junior riders will turn back at Bushy Park. The top 6 finishers in the open category, as well as the first 2 finishers in the juniors, veterans and female categories, will receive trophies and monetary rewards, while the first upright rider will also be rewarded. The defending champion in the open category is Alonzo Greaves, who clocked 1 hour 41 minutes 58 seconds in winning last year's event. The defending champions of the juniors, veterans and female categories are Raw Leal, Stephen Finance and Naomi Singh respectively. At the conclusion of the event, the former cyclist and managing director of R&R International Limited, Jacob Ramaran, will be on hand to assist with the presentation of prizes to the respective winners.
The Ghana Volleyball Federation will this Sunday host their 4th annual Lenny Shuffler Birthday Festival. The event, which will be held at the National Gymnasium, is set for 9 hours start and will feature several matches. The festival is open to all existing and emerging 3rd Division teams across Guyana, with competition expected in both male and female divisions. There will also be an exhibition match between the reigning volleyball champs of Region 4 and the fast-rising Ghana Defence Force team. Meanwhile, the event is also open to other athletes who are willing to form a team following the participation of other sport disciplines athletes through previous editions. The tournament is being held in honor of the long-time enthusiast of the sport and the current GVF president, Lenny Shuffler. Do join us after these messages for your bridge reports.
We believe that everything worth building should be built just once. That is why we build on culture, on trust, on integrity. We exist to do more, better, faster, safer. Your success depends on the foundation it's built on. Everything we do is meant to move you forward. Mark on. Let's build Guyana together.
Welcome back to the evening news. It's now time for a look at your bridge reports. The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed on Sunday, February 9 at 1300 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. The Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Sunday, February 9 at 12 hours 20 for a period of 1.5 hours. That's your Saturday, February 8 edition of the evening news. I'm Michael Young, thanking you very much for joining us and encouraging you to do join us at 7 hours tomorrow morning for a look at the news then. Goodbye.